Yes,
My
sir.
kids
Yes,
getting yelled
sir.
at.
Welcome back to Kingdom Cast. This your host, Bad Luck Chuck. And over to the top right-hand corner is my guy, Country. And over
What's
to my
happening?
left is my guy, Boogie. And we have a special guest to the bottom right-hand corner. You guys seen him recently. He recently went viral for his LaMelo Ball, Carmelo Anthony tweet, but we're going to get to that at some point.
Yep.
But he's a well-known battle rapper. Can't die or Kansas City Chiefs fan. You see him with the ball gear on. You know,
Yep.
Knoxville, Tennessee volunteer, stand up.
Yep.
Let's welcome our guy, A.Ward, to the Kingdom Cast.
Yo, appreciate y'all having me, man. Like I said, long time coming. You know, apparently I was booked for 2 years straight, but I finally was able to get y'all in 2021. Nah, man, but thank you, man, for consistently supporting me and just having me on, man. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, I will let you know,
So-
A.Ward, that was not my fault.
Hey, I was calling things into fruition, man, 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't even have a name yet. I was like, yo, you want to do my podcast? He was like, cool. I was like, cool.
Yep.
I'm rocking with it, bro.
So, A.Ward, let's start you off with this, man. You know, everybody knows you from Knoxville, Tennessee. What made you become a diehard Chiefs fan, man? And how long you been a Chiefs fan?
Yo, so you know, I moved to Kansas City in 2005. I actually came out here to play basketball at a Bible college out here. So I never really had an NFL team I was a fan of. I was just a fan of players that played at Tennessee, because in Knoxville, we didn't even really have the Titans. Like, the Titans were in Nashville, but it was like they were new, you know, like new to the, you know, to Tennessee or whatever. And they drafted Eddie George, and I hate the Big Ten. Like, I mean, so like I was just like, you know what, I'm not going to follow the Titans. So I was just a Peyton Manning fan for a long time. So I moved to Kansas City in 2005. And I went to college. I started falling in love with, you know, the area and stuff like that. And I'm like, yo, I feel like I'm going to be here for a long time. You know, I might as well like really start, you know, diving into the Chiefs. You know, I mean, I've always been a football fan. Crazy enough, when we lived in Tennessee, my little brother was a Priest Holmes fan. Like, you know, he was a huge Priest Holmes. So I've always been, I knew of all the players, stuff like that. Well, I went to high school with Dustin Colquitt. So I went to high school with Dustin Colquitt. Yep. At the time, they drafted Turk McBride, who didn't pan out, but he played at Tennessee. And then about 2 or 3 years after I got here, they drafted Eric Berry, which was my second favorite football player ever to play at Tennessee. So those accumulation of those events was like, now I'm like, the Chiefs is my team. You know, they got the Tennessee players. I know Dustin and Britton from high school. Eric Berry's here or whatever. And like at that point in time, that's when I really was just like, y'all, this is my team. Like, you know, you can't tell me nothing, which was difficult because also a couple years later, Peyton Manning moves to the Broncos. And I'm like, oh, this is not fair. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's kind of like the backstory of just, I've always been a football fan. I never really had an NFL team. And then when I moved here, it took a few years for me. But then once they started to get, you know, once Barry got there, I was pretty much sold. I was like, yeah, this is the team I'm cheering for, you know? So I always tell people, like, I'm a huge supporter. I'm a fan, but I don't want, like, I'm a Tennessee. You see this, like if when Tennessee is terrible, like it hurts my soul. You know what I mean? Like the Chiefs, like I don't have that connection because I didn't grow up in Kansas City, and I didn't like, you know, like day in and day out, Sunday, you know, in middle school and high school, you know, that wasn't my team. So like that's my NFL team, but I'm not on y'all's level. I don't want people to realize my fanaticism is not at the level, you know, because you guys probably are like die hard, like been here for years, you know. So I always tell people, I was like, yo, like I have an appreciation for people that are, you know, the Chief fans as I am to Tennessee Volunteers, you know.
So did the Super Bowl make a Christian battle rapper cuss?
Yeah, I mean, the only time I ever cussed during sports games, bro. I'm telling you, only time I cuss is during sports games, bro. Like, you
a diehard then. You good. Yeah,
I get irritated, man. I just get irritated, bro. But I don't cuss at refs. You know that one thing I don't do in sports is I'm not a big referee hater. You know, like I always tend to think that the game could be won outside of officiating, you know. So I don't ever want to be one of those guys that's just on Twitter like, oh, the Tom Brady paid off. You know what I mean? I'm not that guy, whatever. But it was a rough Super Bowl to watch, man.
Very, very rough.
Yeah.
So, Eric Berry, man, I remember I was at my grandma's house jumping around the house because we drafted Eric Berry, and I just knew Eric Berry was going to be the best guy of all time. He's still
No,
the best
me
guy
too.
in my opinion. I love Eric Berry, man. I know
Yeah,
fans
man.
have turned on him, but I love Eric Berry. And you got Tennessee Eric Berry, like at his, I wouldn't say his peak,
Oh yeah,
but he was the man at Tennessee, right?
was a stud, man. And he just, I mean, just a class individual too, team player. Like, I mean, just everything you wanted. You know, you wanted him to be, you know, a future Hall of Famer. And like, from what I hear, he's in great shape. And I don't know if he's going to try to make a return or something. I'd love to see maybe him play for the Falcons or something. Like, get to go home, play in front of Georgia people. You know, at least compete at a high level. I hate that, you know, it went out the way it did. But yeah, man. Literally, watching him in college against Tebow, the wars that they had at Tennessee, Florida, and just like, I mean, just watching him against Georgia and Alabama, like it was prime time, you know, All-American, best defensive player in the country type stuff. So
For sure, for sure. And the whole lead up, it was like Kansas City's not going to draft a safety. They would never spend that high of a pick on a safety.
yeah,
I was like, please
Yeah.
spend that high of a pick on the safety.
yeah,
But yeah, go to his IG stunt for president. I think
mhm.
I got that right. He's been working out like crazy. He looks good, man. He looks like he's in good shape for real.
Yep.
I don't know how that translates to the field, but
Right.
he looked the part, definitely.
Right, because there's the big difference between game shape and just being in shape in general. So,
And father time, bro. You could be. I mean, I've seen a lot of people that are in good shape, but are still, you know, plus 30. And these guys we drafting are 21, 22 years old, and you know, look just as good, and is out there running just as fast, if not faster. So it's tough. But yeah, like I said, wish him the best and everything for real. He's got two younger brothers that are twins that played at Tennessee too. I thought they might make a little run at the NFL. I think one of them was on a practice squad once, but
yeah,
just a very talented family. Yeah.
I forgot which one it was though.
Yeah. So
was it Evan? It wasn't Evan, was it?
one of them was better, clearly. Like it was Evan and Elliott, and one of them, like he was like our kick returner. Like he was lethal, like in the kick return game, and he was all right, like as a defensive back. But I don't remember which one's which though. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Let's tap into your Tennessee fandom a little bit. Okay, so you got Peyton Manning as your favorite all-time Tennessee ball.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now Peyton, he was pretty good in college. You know what I mean? It's just that one team, the Florida Gators, man. That's the one team that kept getting them every year, man.
It happened in the NFL too. Shoot, he had one team that kept getting them every the Patriots.
Man.
Right.
Yeah. I was there. I watched them in college. You know, we had season tickets, and my dad also worked for the university. And I watched him a lot in college, and yeah, it was tough, man, because it's tough knowing that you're like he's the best quarterback in college football, but he has no national championship, he has no Heisman Trophy, anything like that. You think back, you're like, really, like Peyton Manning, you know? And it's like, nah, like Danny Werfel for some reason at Florida was, you know, the thorn in his side, or something to that extent. You're like, man. It just doesn't make sense, but you know, it takes everything. You know, the next year he graduated. The next year we won a national championship with T. Martin, Martin was a great college quarterback too. You know, but like, I mean, his name don't hold weight like Peyton Manning does. You know, unfortunately, and so yeah, it's a team effort though.
Isn't it crazy how guys are like legends in college and get to the next level and can't? Like Danny Warfield was.
Yep.
He was the best quarterback in the world. Like, or Tim Tebow was the best quarterback in the world. He just couldn't do nothing on the next level. That's like totally crazy.
Also, like, you know, now we live in an age where if you become famous in college, there's great opportunities for you, like Tim Tebow outside of college, right? So, like, he's able to get on and be an analyst and use his likeness or his popularity to benefit him. But when you think back to guys like Eric Crouch, you know what I mean, or something, like he was like the Tim Tebow of his time, but he was 10 years behind. And it's not like he was able to catapult that into any kind of like technologically, because we're in this like social media age now where he didn't have a bunch of followers. He didn't have a bunch of, you know, the platform. Now I don't know what Eric Crouch is doing. He might be coaching. He might be selling cars. He might be, you know, Enterprise will pick you up commercials. I don't know. You know? But like, it's just when you think about that now, like your likeness as a popular figure in college can really, even if you don't make it to the NFL, put you in position. I was just going through, I don't know if you see my Instagram, I've been going through all these old football cards I grabbed them out yesterday. And I'm like, Joe Hamilton, Georgia Tech, dude was like 5'8", like I'm just looking up all these old like players that I used to watch when I was like, man, where are they at now? I wonder, there's a lot of them, man. A lot of people don't make it.
Man, you got some good cards too, bro. Like, what you gonna do with them? I seen that Ray Allen. I seen the Iverson. I seen the Kobe in there.
Yep.
You might be sitting on the gold line, dog.
I know. I need to get them. Like, you got to send them in and get them graded and stuff like that or whatever. Because I just collected because I was a fan of sports and stuff. And now I'm like, okay, let me send these in and see. I might be able, my wife makes more money than me. So now if I'm sitting on a gold mine, I'm gonna hold them up and be like, we even. Yeah.
Right.
Look what I did this 20 years ago.
The rules now.
Yeah, man. The sports card industry is starting to be on the boom all of a sudden. And like,
crazy.
I got my card collection at mom still, so I'm gonna see what's up with my collection myself. But
you ain't took care of them cards. You ain't took care of them cards.
I still got some put up,
bro.
That's dope.
Still. But yeah, man, have you heard about NBA Top Shot recently? Like the virtual cards and stuff? I heard
that's what's weird. Yeah, that's what's weird. Somebody hit me up about another thing that he's doing. But he was explaining it to me, and he was saying like through I don't understand any of it, but somehow through like cryptocurrency and stuff, you're able to like authenticate clips of people. Like so like that Anthony Edwards dunk, from 2 weeks ago or whatever. Somehow it'll be a digital like basketball card, but it'll be like a clip of it, happening, and you can't replicate it. So it's not like I can just, take a screenshot of it or screen record it and make my own card somehow, and then they'll be selling these digital clips like in years or something. It's a very wild, but yes, it's booming right now. That whole Top Shot thing is crazy.
I got to get into that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that Anthony Edwards dunk was nuts.
Man,
I would have walked off the court. Time out. I quit. I retired.
We had this conversation on our podcast yesterday. What's worse, getting dunked on or getting crossed up in a game? And I was actually on team crossed up. Like, I just don't like the idea of like losing my balance and just falling down and my ankles broken and stuff. But like when you see dunks like that, you're like, I don't know if it's much worse.
They got to make the shot if they cross you, though.
I'm definitely team crossed up, too. I'm team crossed up, too.
Because I'm like,
I'd rather get dunked on because I'm playing defense. I'm trying to prevent it. I just can't. But crossed up, nah, man. Iverson don't play forever, bro.
Yeah, crossed up, you just be looking goofy. You just be looking goofy getting crossed up.
And I'm not talking about like somebody stepped on my shoe and I lost balance. And I'm talking about like just straight up, just boom. It just, nah.
Like hot sauce.
You get dunked on, man. That clip plays forever and ever and ever. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe it's just we don't have that many great instances of people just getting crossed up like nasty or whatever. Like, but the dunk, you get dunked on this, that's who that dude is. Brandon Knight, rest in peace. Jason Terry, rest in peace.
Jason Terry was just talking about that.
Yeah, like Jason Terry said, there's kids these days that don't know him from nothing but just getting dunked on.
That's crazy.
Dunked on and crossed up.
How long ago did Jordan cross Iverson? That had to be 25 years ago, right?
No, Iverson crossed Jordan.
Yeah. My bad.
Yeah.
When Iverson crossed Jordan, that was Murder Mook got famous off of the bar referencing the crossover. Yeah.
That's probably the only really one that people think about when we think about getting crossed up like in NBA games is like that,
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Murder Mook, man. Yeah, let's tap into the battle rap career. Okay, so first off, what got you into battle rap, man? And how are you doing it?
That was another one of my pastimes, like sports and hip hop, man. Like, so I grew up. My older brother was the rapper in the family, and he kind of put me on this to like hip hop when I was young. I mean, I remember the first song I ever listened to was Warren G, Regulate. Like I knew all the words to that. In the mid '90s or whatever it was. And so my brother was the rapper. I kind of just idolized him and wrote poetry. And when I moved out to Kansas City or whatever, like I started to write a little bit more spoken word poetry and go to these events like Soul Sessions and the Blue Room and stuff down in the Jazz District. We used to have one at Kudos, this R-Bar. There was just so many different spots. And I would do spoken word poetry and different things. And the way I wrote, people was always like, man, you sound like a battle rapper. And I did music and stuff too. And even my songs, like I was punchline heavy, wordplay heavy, and people always say, man, you sound like a battle rapper. I'm like, well, that makes sense because I love battle rap. I've been watching battle rap since my early high school days. It was something that was like fascinating to me. So I never thought about being a battle rapper because obviously like I was a Christian artist. Most of the time I'm rapping about my love for God or just, different things like that. And then there's a couple battle rappers, like one guy named The Saga and another guy named Street Hymns that were Christians. And I was watching battle rap and I noticed that they were like bold about their Christianity and they didn't cuss and they just was up there like competing. I started thinking to myself, like, man, you know what? Like Steph Curry's a Christian and he's out here like crossing up people, arguing with the refs, like I'm saying, like he's able to take his hobby and compete and still like not compromise who he is off the court, and I'm like, there has to be a way that we can do that. So like I tapped into the Connects, shout out to the Connects, Art, Jarvis, Chapo. They own the Kansas City Battle Rap League there in 2015. I did my first one in 2015 and it went viral. It went crazy viral. Actually the Ink magazine from KC Star or whatever, like I was on the front of all of those that month or whatever. Like every bar you walked into was like they did an article on me and everything. And it just kind of took off there in like September 2015. And I mean, I'm 5 years in now, 40 plus battles, battling at the top of the game against the top guys and traveling the world and getting paid for it. It's just it's a blessing, man. It's still being myself, so.
And killing on a weekly basis, might I add.
I do kill some of these young. They always reach out and want to like bark up the wrong tree, like dudes that are not like heard yet. They think they can get their name off me and then they just die. So, but yeah.
Who was it? Nestle last week? Was it Nestle last week?
No, Nestle was in January, but Nestle is pretty established. That he's nice.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, that was a good one. Who was the guy? It was a clip you just put out. Oh man, forget that. That red battle was crazy, bro.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. See, so
that battle where was the Uber driver and 3 blocks up jerk. Oh my god, bro.
Yeah.
What you said? Okay, so I used to rap back in the days. It's a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you say something dope and it hits you, what's your reaction? When you writing and you like, man, they go, are you writing for crowd reactions?
Nah, I try to write to impress myself a lot, but at the same time, I do understand. Like, I battled DNA, who's one of the top, viewed guys, and I battled him. It was my 8th battle ever, and to me, like on paper,
good battle too. Good battle
on paper. Like I wrote him completely, clearly. Like he can't write with me on any level, like on paper. But when you watch the battle and how he catered some of his stuff to the crowd and how he just like accentuated how he delivered his stuff. Like it's arguable that he might have beat me. And I'm like, yo, how? Like this, I should have won this clearly on paper. So you have to factor that stuff in when you're like battling. Like I'm battling A.Ward in Newark, New Jersey, around nobody, like because of COVID. So I have to write and deliver things a lot differently than if I was battling A.Ward in Kansas City, at the Riot Room, in front of 200 people. Like it's just a total thing. So yeah, it definitely plays in. When I battled Chef Trez at the Riot Room, like I started out the first 16 bars talking about how he said we was in Kansas, and you know how it is. You can't say you're in Kansas if you're in Missouri, So like I knew if I hit him with the bars up front, it was like, oh, we're in Kansas, bro. Like the crowd would automatically just turn on and be like, boo, So like that's just little things like that,
Another good battle. There's another process about writing. How do you write? Do it just come to you? Like sometimes as a rapper, you be like sleep and a bar hits you and you have to wake up and write it down before you forget it.
That's a fact.
Can you remember?
I forgot a lot of stuff. I try to do a voice note or something like that, but most of the time they just come to me like, and I'll kind of, if I think of the line, I'll start cultivating other multis inside that rhyme to lead up to it or whatever. Then I'll get home and put it together. The only time I ever really sit down and start writing is if I've like waited too long. Like say I got a battle next Saturday and I've only got one round. Then next Tuesday, like I'm going to make myself sit in front of the computer and then I'm going to sit here and just start watching battles and trying to think of stuff and actually like, writing material out. But for the most part, I'm always just, trying to like, as I'm out driving or watching TV or whatever I'm doing, trying to construct different ways of being creative. And then I know Tech 9, he always says like, that he listens to a beat and he literally just says the sounds and then he'll write the words to it. You know what I mean? Like he'll the way he chops and stuff. He'll be like, you know, whatever, and he'll formulate that, and then he'll go in and make the syllables with the words or whatever. Sometimes I do that with cadences and stuff. Like, you know, I'll just be out and be like, I mean, I ain't know, you know, or something like that, and I'll be like, okay, I like how I'm styling this like cadence. Let me go back and figure out what I want to say there. You know?
Yeah.
Hey,
Plus the rebuttal game is crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I want to ask you about you going up against B-Dot and Geechee Gotti in a team. I guess it was like a 2-on-2 battle.
Mm-hmm.
You and I believe it was you and Loso, I think.
Yeah,
Loso.
That was a dope battle.
How did it feel to go up against somebody like Geechee Gotti? You know, had that opportunity.
You know, so there's the backstory is that I beat Geechee Gotti. So I beat Geechee Gotti in a one-on-one battle. And it was another one of them things where I don't think he knew what he was like signed up for. You know, like I think that he thought he was just gonna come out here and it was just gonna be, you know, and that's one of the reasons why when people say like, Ward, why don't you take it easy on some of these young dudes? Like, and like these dudes get smoked too, just like any, you know what I mean? Because the one time I go in there and just think that it's gonna be, you know, easy going, something's gonna happen, and I'm gonna underestimate. So obviously I beat Geechee Gotti, and he had to hear about that for a long. He still hears about it to this day.
Yes, he does.
Loso had battled B-Dot and had a crazy battle with B-Dot. If you've never seen that, it's a crazy battle. So when the opportunity arrived,
was that on bullpen?
Yeah, it was on bullpen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So when the opportunity arrives to do a 2-on-2, it was like, cool. Like I can talk to B-Dot, you can talk to Geechee. You know, we can also play off like I already beat you, you already beat me type stuff. And 2-on-2s are often looked at like all-star games. You know, they're not necessarily taken into consideration to your record. They're more fun for the fans. You go in there, you try different things, you play off your opponents and your partner and stuff. So the battle turned out incredible. Like it really did, especially for, you know, me and Geechee Gotti, we both had battles the week before. Geechee battled Twerk on URL, and I battled Danny Myers on RBE the week before. So, you know, with prep and everything like that, to be able to kind of put all that together and put together that good of a battle, it was really good. Plus, it was my first 2-on-2 with Loso. Now everybody wants to see, you know, me and Loso versus K-Shine and DNA, or me and Loso versus Math and Cortez. There's a lot of different matchups now, you know, since people have seen that and been like, yo, that's dope.
Yeah,
that was a great battle.
You on URL first?
Do what?
We getting that on URL first? A 2-on-2?
Man, one of these days I'm gonna be on URL, man. That's a whole other topic, man.
You skipping ahead, bro.
That's the number one question, man. The number one question every time I get on anything. So
Smack, call my man, Smack.
Yeah. I was about to ask about that, man, because like URL, man, I don't know why they sleeping on you like this, dog. I feel like you should have been got opportunity to be on URL.
You know, that's the thing, man. So I've had opportunities to be on URL. URL just has a protocol and a system that they stand by. So their whole thing is they don't care if this is your second battle ever and they discovered you, or if this is your 50th battle ever and you're already like a star. Like when you come in at the bottom and that you don't get paid and you battle who they want you to battle and you battle on whatever card they want you to battle on, you know? And so I was at the point where I'm like, I'm not happy with coming in and battling for free. You know, I'm not happy with coming in and battling Joe Schmo and then basically trying out for y'all's platform so that you can basically put me down here and make me work all over again to get up and get these matches, you know? So that's really the disconnect with me and them. They offer battles all the time, like different situations. And I've actually accepted a battle that I was supposed to have to battle New Jersey Twerk, but he got into a car accident. And and then they decided not to reschedule the battle. So, you know, now we're kind of back at square one rather than that, you know. So we've had situations where they've said, okay, Ward, we're going to give you a big name, or okay, Ward, we're going to give you some money or something like that. And I'm like, all right, well, at least meet me in the middle. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of where the disconnect is now. Like they're still really good people. They just there's pride on the battler standpoint and on the league standpoint, and somebody's got to like really like put their ego aside and say, let's make this happen, you know? And so I'm willing to do so much, but I'm not willing to kind of get put in at the bottom to where I'm just like right now, I'm talked about as the best guy not on URL, you know? if I just go in there and battle whoever, whenever, whatever, and I get stuck in the purgatory of these 30 other URL rappers that you see every now and then, but nobody cares about, I've done myself a disservice. You know what I mean? So
they did the same thing with Chilla though. Chilla was off, and he was off for a while, and really built his rep back up, and now he's champion of the year. Ill Will had the same situation. There's been a couple Mav had that situation, even though it was totally different. Mav situation was totally different.
Yeah, I appreciate them. Like I give them a hard time and stuff. Some on Twitter, just to kind of, just I'm a little bit petty. I'm a jokester or whatever. I appreciate them heavily. Like everything they've done for the culture. I'm a huge fan of URL and stuff. I'm also a businessman. Like some of these dudes are 23, 24 and getting flown places to go rap, right? Like when I was 20, I'm 35. When I was 23 or 24, I probably would have done anything for free to go rap, with on URL, So there's always somebody where they're like, okay, let's just say Ward wants $2 or $3 Like, man, nah, such and such over here in the DMV will do this for $250 on a bus ticket. You know what I mean? And like, so why would they want to sit there and deal with the headache of me if they can go and get somebody else to do it? You know what I mean?
So do you feel like it's pressure that when you finally do get the URLs pay-per-view?
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure.
You feel like because your mentality is to smoke everybody, basically. So I think you already going into it, but is there more added pressure that it's your first URL?
I have to I can't just compete with so let's say I end up taking a guy there's a guy named Real Sick right now. Kid Chaos, there you go. Okay, Kid Chaos, perfect. Yeah, I think Kid Chaos is very talented too. Say I take a guy like Real Sick or Kid Chaos and I go in there and we just put together a real high quality debatable battle, right? Like the image on me is that, yo, Ward, you're having debatables with the new class over here. You know what I mean? Like if I had already been established on URL, and just if I was a Mike P or the Saga or somebody like that and had a debatable with them, that's one thing. They've already had crazy battles on URL where people already kind of have ranked them. But if my first battle I come in and it's just a really good battle with one of these dudes, it's like, all right, or well, your pay structure is on the same level as them now. Your next card is on the same level as them. Whereas T-Top called me out a few weeks ago and he's like, oh, I want to battle Ward. I want to battle him on Caffeine on pay-per-view. If I come in and battle T-Top and put together a high quality debatable, T-Top's really freaking good. So I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm going to smoke him or nothing. Then I just had a battle of the night type battle with T-Top. My next battle is going to be against a guy like a B-Dot or a guy like on that level. You know what I mean? And so that's where you just don't want to get caught up in the back and forth of having to battle these other guys or getting placed in some class. You know what I mean? And then wasting a lot.
T-Top is definitely going to talk about your wife making more money than you.
Exactly.
I don't know who does T-Top research, but T-Top always finds something.
He got the angles, yep.
T-Top is crazy with the angles.
Yep.
So, what are some of your favorite bars? You did, I think it was St. Mike, St. MC. You did an Omaha, Nebraska bar.
Yep. That's
first of all, you're very sick. But where did you get that, bro? You spelled Nebraska forwards and backwards, right?
Yeah.
It was great, bro.
That's the creativity of it, man. I think people know what they're good at. T-Top's good at talking about, the drug talk and the angles and stuff like that. You got guys that are good at humor, like Pat Stay. He's a funny dude. He's able to come in and break you down. One thing I like to pride myself on is just being extremely creative and doing things that people are like, yo, what? Like the reverse punch against O-Red, when I said the same exact thing forward and backwards and it made sense. It's like, oh
man,
stuff like that, The first round against Geechee Gotti and B-Dot, when me and Loso did the finish each other sentence things, and you know what I mean? It was the next line started the next sentence. That's what I'm trying to do. So the bill collector scheme in the third round, where I did the BC era scheme, where I'm I'm talking to bill collector about, and there's a triple entendre in there, and it's just kind of you don't have to compare. We can compare punchlines. Oh, who had the better punchline? Here's a punchline. Here's a punchline. But you can't say who had the better triple entendre scheme. No, there's like it's probably just me. You know what I mean? Or who had the best reverse punch or the best. You know, like I'm trying to like put myself in different categories of just different creativity. So with the St. Mike battle, one, I like the call and response round. You know, that's a talent in itself to be able to get a crowd to repeat after you. You know, and say you're from Nebraska. You know, like that. That was dope. And then
that whole scheme was dope.
And then it's just from looking at words, man. Anytime I look at a word, like I'm looking up here and it says StreamYard or whatever, you know, like, you know, I'm thinking to myself like, oh, cool, you know, like how can this be spun or twisted, or if you add a word or add a letter. And so when I'm looking at Nebraska and I'm like, oh, AKs, AR, oh, you know, like I immediately just go to guns and be able to put it together, you know.
So did you ever get the white boy rapper term put on you?
That's so weird to think, because man, before I started battling, I was in all the churches, you know, performing, and I was always like probably one of the only white people too, like rapping in churches. You know, I was going all around Kansas City. I've been in all of them: Macedonia, Concord, you know, one on Bannister. What is that? Oh man, Canaan. You know, I've been in pretty much any big church, any, you know, predominantly African American church or whatever. And when you're rapping like for God, you don't really get like people don't really, at least out loud, say, hey, the white boy, you know what I mean, or something like that. It's not really like, you know what I mean. It did happen sometimes when I would go to like poetry sessions down at the juke house and stuff, where they'd be like, yo, that white dude's crazy, or people introduce me as like the Christian Eminem or whatever, and I'm like, man, this is mad corny, you know. But actually, I have to also always be aware of the fact that I am Caucasian, and as a Caucasian in hip hop, you are somewhat of a visitor. You know, like I grew up on hip hop. Like I didn't just, you know, was wearing my freaking Birkenstocks and Old Navy, you know, fleece in the suburbs in $1 million house and decided to put some headphones on one day and listen, you know, and decided rap was my thing. You know, like I grew up in government housing around a lot of my best friends, everybody I hung out with. It was all hip hop and sports. You know what I mean? So it's genuine to who I am, but I do have to be aware of that. So I will say, like, you know, I battle in a lot of places. I battled on King of the Dot, which is Canadian. It's a lot of white people and stuff like that. And I've battled in Philly. I've battled in Atlanta, a lot of different places or whatever. I don't normally think of myself like as the white guy, but I imagine a lot of people look at me and say, like, that white boy or that. I don't like being called it, but I mean, I don't care at the same time, you know? Like this, I don't like when people say, this is my white boy or something like that. I'm just like, yeah, that's kind of corny, you know?
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. But I think, though, when you get, probably initially, it's like the white boy think he can rap. But then when you start spitting, oh, that go out the door. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
my first battle went viral because I was wearing a Royals t-shirt and like a Tennessee like hat like this, like not a flat, you know, just like this. Right. And like, I think people thought I was there just to watch the event, and they were just like, all right, next battle up is A.Ward. And I walked up and people were like, it wasn't even packed. People were just like, oh, he's battling? You know what I mean? And then when you look at the thumbnail and you just see like, you know, this, you know, clean cut white dude with a trucker hat on, like smoking this other dude, you know, it's like, oh, I got to click on this.
Everybody had their mouth open out soon. It was like,
yeah.
That's how it was when you battled DNA, because I think I heard of you, but I wasn't like, when I seen, I put two and two together, right? Mm-hmm. But it's like, okay, he's from Kansas City. That's the first thing. Kansas City. Ooh. It's like, oh, he's a white dude. Oh, he can rap. Oh, he's kind of killing DNA right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it goes through different levels, but at the end of the day, you have my respect completely.
That's what I'm saying. But earlier we were talking to Boog, I'm like, yo, like, that's the thing is, like, people say, oh, it's a white dude. I might like him or I might dislike him because he's white. Like, people might say it's a white rapper. I like white rappers. People might say it's a white rapper. I think they're corny. It's a Christian. I might automatically just gonna say he won every battle because he's Christian and he doesn't cuss. Like, I got fans like that. And I'm like, nah, that's not how it works. You know, always from Kansas City. I'm like, nah, like, listen, when you hear me rap, like, just understand, like, I could do this. You know, I put words together really well at a high level. Like, let me earn your approval. Let me earn your like, your retweet, or your purchase in my shirt, or whatever it is. I'm cool with people that like me for the certain other things that I can't really change. I can't change being white, living here, you know, I mean, Christian and stuff like that. But like rock with me because you think I'm dope. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Bro, You top 5 right now, man. You should have been way more in the conversation for champion of the year because you've been killing. Like I honestly thought A.Ward is wasting bars because he's killing these dudes. Like, he killing the no-name dudes. He killing the name dudes. He killing the mid-tier guy. Like, bro, chill. Like, you got to play for bars.
I told you, my wife makes more than me, man. I got to pay my share of the rent, you know, and then the mortgage. I'm out here smoking Joe Schmo, and I'm gonna battle somebody in Springfield down there by the Ozarks next week, probably. Just go get a bag real quick.
The bill collector battle, you got some great battles, though. Bill collector battle was nuts. Geechee.
Danny, yep.
You know what? I don't think I've seen the Danny Myers battle. Was that crazy? Is the interview over now? Because I don't think I
battles, man. I battle a lot of times. My big thing is this, like, I'll pride myself on, I battle Sharon in London. I battle somebody in Australia. I battled in the West Coast, the East Coast. I battled in front of predominantly white people, predominantly black. I battled in, like, and I feel like I translate and I'm good and I can compete at a high level in front of any crowd, any ethnicity, you know what I mean? Like, across the world, here, there, whatever it may be, you know, and not a lot of battle rappers can do that. Some guys are just funny. Some guys are just, you know, street and can't go, you know, and be lighthearted and stuff like that. And so I think that that's what makes it fun for me, is to know that Ireland, I was supposed to headline in Ireland actually this month. But, you know, COVID pushed it back or whatever. But, like, they can call me to do that, and then they can call me to go headline. You know, I'm actually in Compton. I was supposed to battle Coffee. I was in Compton at the airport in Compton, you know, literally with, like, me and like 200 Crips, like, you know what I mean? And it was just like, you know, I was in there. It was just, you know, it was a dope venue, a dope time. Geechee Gotti held it down real well. But, like, they can call me for those, and they can call me for whatever, you know. And I think that that's, you know, a testament to it.
I'm gonna be honest with you, A.Ward. You my dog. If you would have stayed in front of her in Compton, we might have had to come get you out of there.
I like the rounds you had before, too. I wish I would have had
necessary, bro. It wasn't necessary, bro.
I know, man. I wish it would have happened so bad, man. I really wish it was.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
that was nuts. So, when it comes to battle rap, who inspired you, and who do you look at now as inspiration? See, like, my favorite battle rappers is like Serious Jones,
right?
Mook, Clips, Hitman Holla, A.Ward, you know, the Midwest movement, Big T, all those guys that follow me on Twitter. I love them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But who did you look for? Did you watch Fight Club and all that type of stuff, International P?
That's the tough thing, is because now battle rap is like stuck in this whole new era versus old era thing, right? And I'm considered probably new, but I'm 35 years old. So it's like, I'm not new. Like, I don't know how old, you know, some of the guys are that are in the new class, but you think to yourself, a lot of these rookies are in their mid-20s or whatever. And I'm older. Like, I grew up on the same thing. All the Fight Clubs, all of the, you know, like me and Serious Jones and stuff like that. Like, those guys are not my enemies. Those are like my peers and my idols. Like, that's who I watch. You know what I mean? And so, but I still, like, to this day, I draw my inspiration from guys like that. But I also draw my inspiration from different, like Chilla Jones. He's one of the best writers in the world to me. You know, Chef Trez is one of the best rebuttalers in the world to me. And, like, those are things that I want to be able to continue to do on a high level. So, like, I look at those guys, you know, guys like Loso and Street and Saga, like, they're able to go in and find different ways of not compromising their beliefs, you know, and go in and compete and find ways to, because you have to be aggressive in battle rap. Like, I can't just go up there and be like, Jesus loves you, turn the other cheek. Like, that's going to be the most trash round you ever heard, you know, like, whether I believe that or not. I got to find a way to go up there and, like, smoke you and say, you know, like, yo, afterwards we could dab it up and pray if you need to, you know what I mean? Like, and so, like, guys like Street Saga and Loso and even Oops, like, they go in with a different mindset. Like, the stage is not, it's not Gladiator. It's not, I'm going to kill you. The stage is like a megaphone. What do I get to say to the world that's watching? You know what I mean? And, like, that's a difference to it as well. It's like, millions of people are watching me every year. You know, like, do I want them to watch me and just hear me creatively say this dude sucks? Or do I want there to be something of substance in those rounds too, to where they hear it and say, yo, that made a lot of sense. You know what I mean? And so guys like Chilla and Chef Trez and Oops and Loso and Street and Saga and even Pat Stay, like the way he's versatile and he can go from aggressive to funny and stuff like that. Like those are the guys that I really like sharpen, you know, what I try to do. But I'm with you though. Like my favorite ever was Hollow, Bill Collector, Loaded Lux. Like that was my three. Those were my three favorite battle rappers growing up was Hollow the Don, Bill Collector, and Loaded Lux.
I love Hollow. That's my dog.
Yep.
Hollow's the best.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
What you think about these
Four
battle
Horsemen.
rappers with these diss tracks?
The diss track?
Yeah, you hear like Kast and what's that? Easy to Block Captain.
Yep.
What you think about that?
I love it. I love it when people take it back to wax and kind of just, I mean, right now battle rap is kind of WWE. So it's storylines and it's what are you doing outside of the ring to make people want to watch you and want to subscribe to the apps and do all that kind of stuff. Calico's always been one of my favorite, and I like the whole. I'm like a Sada Baby fan. I like the hip hop out there in Detroit and stuff, and how they slide on a beat and stuff like that, you know. And Cal he does a pretty good job of it, you know. He came out with a diss track, that WWF or whatever it was, and I thought that one was nice. And then Easy to me is, I'm not a big Easy fan as far as bars in the ring yet, just because I appreciate his authenticity. I know why he sells, because he's authentic, you know. Everything he's done outside of the ring in like his diss track and like his show on Caffeine and the way he's like kind of giving himself that it factor by like cultivating all of that and becoming like a staple in battle rap, like it's genius from a branding and promotional standpoint, you know, because I haven't been thoroughly impressed with him like inside the ring, but he's probably the number one new class guy right now. So that takes a lot.
Yeah. He's on a tear right now. I think I must have watched Serious Jones versus Murder Mook 215 times.
Oh yeah.
So, like, I just love battle rap. I fell out of it, and then I kind of got back when Hitman and A.Ward, which is a classic. If you want to get into battle rap, you got to watch Hitman versus A.Ward 20 times.
Boogie was saying earlier he is a battle rap rookie, right? Is that what you were saying? Like I got a couple of people that they started watching battle rap when I started battling, you know, like a handful of my good friends. And so, you know, I try to put them on to some of the classics and stuff like that. And they're busy. They'll get around to it. They'll watch my battles. But like, man, I think I still got the audio message in my phone of one of my friends. He's a pastor at Evangel Church. If you know where that's at, it's like a 435 and like what is that? Oh man, State Line. It's like 435 and State Line over there by Ugly Joe's. Anyway, like he sends this audio message and he had watched A.Ward and Hitman for the first time, bro. And like it's so weird because I watched it for the first time 10 something years ago, you know? And so he's watching it like a year ago, you know, like it's fresh or whatever. And he going crazy during the third round. He's like, I just stopped it, bro. He is talking to him right now. In my mind, I'm thinking, like, he ain't even heard Ayo Big Gerald yet. Like I'm thinking like he about to lose it. The next audio message is like, oh my God. Like going, I'm like, hey, like that's a good feeling. I remember when I watched it the first time, you know, how crazy it was. And to know that, you know, there are battles like that you can send people to, and when they're watching it, they get that same, you know, that same feeling. So that's dope.
Yeah, but we was watching battles when it was one round at a time on YouTube.
Yeah, one round on YouTube. Yeah,
that's old school. You have to wait. But Bug, the first, I think I gave you A.Ward versus Hitman, Hollow versus Surf.
Mm-hmm.
No, you gave me Big T and Surf. Big T and Surf.
Yeah, that's a classic. Classic. Yeah, that's a good one. But yeah, man. Next thing I know, he had the URL at the next week.
That's funny.
He jumped all the way in the game.
That's how it is, man. That's how it is. And then if you jump in late, you got so much stuff to watch back before too. Like now, like sometimes I got the app and I'm like, man, there ain't nothing new to watch. You know, I done seen all the episodes. He's like, you know, it's like watching The Office for the 5th time or something. You know, you're just kind of like, I guess y'all go back to that episode. You know, so.
So last week and I completely 100% agree with you. LaMelo Ball is a great player. I think he's going to be great. He's killing the league right now. He got a lot of skills. He's talented. But there is only one Melo. His name is Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, and I want to read your tweet exactly, A.Ward. On February 14th, you said, if you're over 25, Melo is Carmelo Anthony, period. That was it. And
I was trying to get on my Battle Chuck, man. I was trying to get interviewed on all these joints, man. The crazy thing is, and I actually that tweet was kind of calculated to go viral. So I've really been trying to study different ways of like how is it that people's tweets, or how is it like how do they catch traction? Like, because some people have 25 followers and they'll say a tweet and it'll blow up. Some people have 80,000 and they'll say something that I think should have a lot of likes and stuff like that, you know? And so I'm actually in Seattle, right? I was in Seattle. I was battling that night. I'm sitting down. I'm watching the Trailblazers. I think they're playing the Mavericks, and Melo takes a baseline and he dunks it, two-hand dunk or whatever, right? I'm like, okay, Melo, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, all right, I see you. And what's crazy is like about 3 years ago, I remember a highlight of him on the Thunder where he was underneath the basket and he tried to jump up and dunk it two hands and like literally got hung on the rim or whatever. And in my mind, I'm thinking like Melo is like, he done for, like, you know what I mean? Like when he was with the Thunder, and it's different. So in my mind, I'm like, yo, Melo is still out here like hooping, right? And so I said to there was a kid, or not a kid, a young person at the bar with a LaMelo Ball jersey on, the sports bar or whatever, you know? And so I just kind of was like, okay, so I'm sitting there tweeting or whatever. I said to myself, first off, Melo's Melo. We know that. It don't matter if you're 18 and up or what, you know, Melo's Melo. So I'm like, yo, this tweet, I got to put a certain age to where people, one, they identify with the Melo part of the tweet, but two, they're going to respond and say, yeah, right, not 25, 12, 18, you know what I mean? It gives it another layer of attention, you know what I mean? Because I'm thinking to myself, like, this is a dope, you know, a dope tweet. So I kind of tried to collectively, like, that's why I put 25. It wasn't just like a random, like, oh, get the phone out, 25 or whatever. At first I was going to put like 18 and I was like, nah, let's do it this way. So I tweet if you're 25 or older, and then sure enough, all of the responses start coming in. I'm 18, I'm 42. Who's the other Melo? I'm 4, you know, all of these different things. And yeah, that's the first time I ever had like a viral tweet happen or whatever. But I mean, I definitely agree with it. Definitely stand by it. And it was dope. Like when, you know, I seen the Kendrick Perkins thing the other day on ESPN.
That was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. And just a lot of different, you know, people reached out. NBC wrote an article on it and featured it on their article and stuff like that. But yeah, it's true. I mean, it is like, I'm not going to call LaMelo Ball Melo. You know, I'm not, you know what I mean? People are like, yo, it's part of his name. And I'm like, I get it. But like Andre Iguodala is AI. Like ain't nobody calling him AI. You know what I mean? Like
right.
AI come up with a different nickname. You know what I mean? Like
you call him Iggy.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Carmelo
we had you two guys know how to go viral. Me and Boogie got to step our game up. So after the show, we got to hook us up.
It's my first time ever, man.
Hey, Charles went viral for leaving the Chiefs game. So
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like I was trying to get on his level. I was trying to get all the local networks. Yo, y'all see this tweet? Like, come on.
Yeah. So yeah, man, that tweet was all over, dude. So like, did you think it would get that hectic?
No, I didn't. I had no clue. Like I said, even though it was calculated to do like the 25 to try to get attention to it or whatever, like I didn't think that, you know, and even when it started getting like 20,000, 30,000 likes and stuff like that, that was cool and all, but I didn't anticipate like ESPN grabbing it and putting it, you know, and all of these people in articles and stuff like that. Like I personally would not even be surprised, even though it's like a week ago, like if somebody in an interview asked Carmelo Anthony about the Melo nickname, you know what I mean? Like after the next game or stuff, like there still could be another follow. I mean, the Kendrick Perkins thing was just 2 days ago, you know, like there still could be some more remnants of like the idea of that, you know, going around, but I did not anticipate that at all. But I was glad because I'm such a sports fan, you know, it's not like just some random person just said something. Like I'm a hardcore sports fan. I watch any and everything, bro. Like the Lady Vols played last night in basketball. I'm still watching women's college basketball. You know what I mean? Like I watch if you can win in it, I'll watch it. They had cornhole on ESPN because they wouldn't have no sports, Like I'm sitting there watching the beanbag toss stuff. So like I was just glad that like it kind of worked out to where like I was able to kind of be on what I watch all the time, ESPN. Emmanuel Acho, one of my friends on FS1, he mentions me every now and then and says some different things when he's going back and forth with Marcellus Wiley and stuff. So like that stuff's cool to me. So.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So you a big Tennessee guy. Before we let you get out of here, no matter the sport, since you watch all sports, top 5 Tennessee guys of all time.
Or we can include the women too, because Tennessee basketball is legendary.
Yeah.
Let's include the ladies.
Yeah. I mean, if we're doing players, are we just doing personnel and everything, or what?
Because I just really just thought Pat Summitt had to be on that list.
Like Pat Summitt is definitely on the top 5. We're doing, everything.
Let's just do players. Because I think if you get into that, then that might be more than 5.
Yeah, I'll say one is Peyton Manning. Well, one A and one B. So one is Peyton Manning and 2 is probably Bernard King. Bernard King, at Tennessee was incredible, and then went on into the NBA and was incredible as well. You got Reggie White. That's probably top 5. Candace Parker. Candace Parker is arguably top 3 maybe women's basketball players of all time. I don't know. I'm not a big UConn fan, so everybody's probably like Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, and them. They probably pick them. But to me, Candace Parker and Shamiqua Holtzclaw before Candace Parker was incredible. And then to throw another curveball, no pun intended, Todd Helton, man. Todd Helton was he's probably a future Hall of Famer from a first baseman standpoint for the Colorado Rockies. A lot of people don't know our quarterback got hurt in the first game in 1994 against UCLA, and they put in Todd Helton to play. And Todd Helton did 2 series. And then after that, they put in a guy named Peyton Manning, and then he never, Todd Helton never played again, So Todd Helton was technically the backup quarterback above Peyton at the time, you know what I mean? So that's 5 good ones, man. There's probably, you got guys like Justin Gatlin, you got guys like Christian Coleman right now, who probably one day is going to be one of the, the fastest, best, athletes of all time. There's just so many athletes that went to Tennessee, man. Alvin Kamara right now is one of my favorite NFL players that played there. And
then Tamika Catchings, she won a WNBA title.
Yeah, Tamika Catchings might already be more highly regarded. I think Candace has taken a few years off and stuff, like having kids and different things. Tamika was like all-star every year, at UT. Man, yeah, there's just a lot of guys.
Man, you saying these names?
Eric Berry to me is up there too,
Yeah,
you saying these names? Does Tennessee get the respect that it ain't get that? How everybody says Florida, Texas, Georgia.
Yeah, but
Tennessee might need to be in that conversation though.
It did, but we ain't been no good in we haven't been highly competitive in a long time, you know what I mean? And that's what it is. It's like at the end of the day, Tennessee's in the SEC. They have a crazy, prestigious, college, the stadium's 105,000. Like the fan base is incredible. People want to come there. The weight room is this top 5 in the world, but we just haven't put the records together since probably 2000. And the last time we even waited, were SEC, SEC championship was like 2007 or something like that. So it's been like 12, 13 years since we were competitive on a level to garner people's current respect. But up until probably if it was 2010, we were number 2 in first round draft picks of all time. You know what I mean? We used to put out everybody. That year that we won the national championship, it was Albert Haynesworth, Al Wilson, Jamal Lewis, Peerless Price, Sean Ellis, Chad Clifton, everybody on our team, Deion Grant, everybody on our team ended up in the NFL starting on teams. You know what I mean? And that's what we kind of gotten away from. So
right.
And Peerless Price is top 5 names of all time.
Right.
Peerless Price is like one of the best names of all time.
It was the easiest Sports Illustrated cover ever. You didn't have to come up with no catchy phrase or nothing. It just said Peerless.
Right. Yeah. And earlier, man, I was gonna challenge on that Candace Parker pick too. I was like, because when I watched Tennessee growing up, women's basketball, I was like Shamika Hallsclaw. I really thought she was gonna be the next Michael Jordan, like for the women's basketball game. Because the WNBA, it was set up perfect for her to take over. And then she had some off the court things going on in her personal life or whatever. But she was a beast. She was cold. She pretty much had everything, dog.
We had what we call the three Meeks. It was Shamika, Tamika, and Samika Randall, and that was like the squad. Like, I mean, up in the late '90s or mid '90s, late '90s, early 2000s, like it was three-peat central. Like we went from the Shamika Hallsclaw era, and then turned around and it was Candace Parker era. Where we won 3 back-to-back. Like when I was growing up, we would go to the women's games before the men's games because it was more people, in the stadium, like watching women's college basketball, But, the other cool thing, like University of Tennessee, Wade Houston was the first African-American basketball coach. He was hired at Tennessee. He brought Allen Houston. Allen Houston obviously played at Tennessee too. Like there's some cool things definitely in regards to athletics there. And then right now we got Josh Richardson, Tobias Harris, Grant Williams, and I think Schofield's in the D League the G League right now. But we got a few players in the NBA right now that are. I thought Tobias Harris kind of got snubbed, but at the same time, if I looked at the roster, I don't know really who to take off and put him on. But he's having a great year this year, and that's dope. So,
yeah. And before we let you go, man, we gotta bring back the football, of course, because it's technically a football podcast. But we all seen the Super Bowl. We all know what happened and all that, disappointment and all that. So, in your opinion, during this offseason, what do you think the Chiefs need to improve on? Like, who do you think they need to get, and like what positions they need to address?
Well, man, I like the young secondary, right? So I like Snead, and I like some of what they got going on there. I think the pass rush was really something that needs to be kind of addressed, and I don't know if it was just an accumulation of. I don't, because when you look at the names and you're like Frank Clark and you see these guys, you're like, nah, they should be in the prime of their career, or they should be performing at a high level or whatever. But basically the interior line for the offense and the defense, I think that both lines need to be taken care of. I was always critical of Eric Fisher, very critical of Eric Fisher. I think most fans and Chiefs fans have had like this roller coaster effect with Eric Fisher or whatever. But like after that Super Bowl, if I'm him, I'm walking in there like, yeah, I need all kind of money. Like, you see what it's like not having a left tackle? Like, even though I'm not like that good, I'm like the whole reason, like I might not be great, but shoot, you obviously don't got a replacement, So I definitely think that, I think we're good skill position. I think Edwards-Helaire will be good for a while. Obviously linebackers might be something that, we need to look at too. Ultimately, like, I think that we're in a good position. Like, I think that you look at, even if they didn't have crazy additions, like I know they've been talking about J.J. Watt or something like that coming or whatever. Like, I think that we're still the top 2-3 teams in the AFC, easy. With Patrick Mahomes back there and the weapons that we have. It's just about. It's weird because like I think there's a whole different ball game without the injuries, and I don't like to blame injuries on anything. It's like a healthy Chiefs team like is a Super Bowl team next year too. So how much better or how much can you really get? You know what I mean? But I definitely think one thing that surprised me a lot in the Super Bowl, I thought our tackling was very porous. Like I thought that from the defensive line, the linebacker standpoint, like they didn't wrap up, and that wasn't something that was like all year that we were defined by poor tackling or anything like that, But for some reason, Leonard Fournette went like back to his LSU glory days on us,
Man.
It was just man. It was just a snowball effect. We as Chiefs fans, you're always watching like, we're down 21, we're good. You know what I mean? Like, yo, call Chuck, tell him to leave the Super Bowl. Like, we're good. We'll get up out of there. But like. They just had to feel during that game. And it wasn't even because they had Tom Brady. You just had to feel during that game that they were like, the drop passes and the, just the running for his life every possession and stuff. And I'm like, bro, Jason Pierre-Paul is old. He got 3 fingers and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, he's not like, it's not like, T.J. Watt's back there chasing you down or something like that, or Aaron Donald, Like, you just kind of got the feeling that the team just wasn't really there all the way. So that was what was kind of frustrating about it.
Yeah, man, because, like,
totally
I felt like the Chiefs had plenty of time to establish the run in the second half because I remember one drive, Clyde had 36 yards rushing, and then all of a sudden went away from it again. Because I always said this, when you got Patrick Mahomes dropping back that many times, I don't care how good he is. In the Super Bowl, you're going to lose that game. Because the last Super Bowl we was in, before that, we had that balance. We at least let Damian Williams touch the ball 21 times. You know what I mean? So...
And that was what it was the first play of the second half was a 23-yard run by Edwards-Helaire, and it was literally the longest play from scrimmage for the game for the Chiefs, And it was like that. There was like that draw play, whatever that, he kind of does the spin, whatever. And I thought to myself, like, okay, like, let's find some balance. And like you said, like, the one thing about Andy Reid, though, that man is going to go down passing the ball. Like, like that's just that at the end of the day, the Utah Jazz, when they needed a bucket, they went to the pick and roll. Like Andy Reid in his mind, like, he's like, yeah, we're going to throw this ball, like, and that's kind of like, you take the good with the bad. But, yeah, we just knew, like I said, I hate to blame injuries. You just knew that Mahomes was banged up. You just knew that the offensive line was banged up. The one thing that I was really like upset with outside of the tackling was like, he just got no help. Like, like Kelsey, Hill, Williams, like some of these guys, like, they make those catches, they make those catches all year long. And there was never a time where somebody just like said, all right, bro, you just ran 40 yards and I'm going to catch this for you. So, the next time you do this, you feel like it's worth it, and he didn't get much help from his skill position guys. So,
yeah, it just
never clicked, man. It just never clicked like it usually does.
I think that's the most frustrating thing. Like, I don't know about you guys. Like, I would rather compete and lose. Like, I don't want to lose by a last-second field goal either, because then you're kind of crushed or whatever. But like, it just wasn't enjoyable at all watching the Super Bowl ever, And it just was like irritating. Like, I mean, if it would have been 27-24 something like that and lost to Brady or something like that, I'd still be equally as pissed off we lost the Super Bowl. But at least I can go back and say, dang, that was a crazy good game. You know what I mean? Like, we were one play away, we were one flag away, we were one something away. But like, it just that wasn't. I did too think it was interesting. Just the interesting fact was that everybody that scored a touchdown for the Buccaneers it was Gronk, AB, and Fournette and Brady. Like nobody that was on their team last year, the year before, scored a touchdown for them. So it's kind of the equivalent of like that super team. You put them together, you get Brady, you bring in Fournette, Antonio Brown, get Gronk. It's like all of their points came from those guys.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even think about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, hey man, we appreciate you, bro. It's been 3 years in the making.
No doubt, man.
The first time I actually heard you, huh?
Who do I got next?
Man, I was about to get to that.
No.
I had to thank him first.
Yeah, no.
Let me cook real fast. So we appreciate you coming on. You've always been loyal. We've been loyal to you. We support you, bro. We wish you the best of luck. I'm voting you champion of the year already next year.
Hilarious.
Now, before we go, Boogie, you're the new battle rap guy. We got 3 cards. I want you to book A.Ward with 3 separate battle rappers on 3 separate cards. Go.
Okay. I'm going to go with Kid Chaos. I'm going to go with Nitty. And I'm gonna go with Twerk. I like that. Ooh, but that TikTok too, man.
That's good.
I'm gonna do them 3.
Somebody call Beasley.
Call it up. That's the funny thing is the first time I ever talked to Beasley was about a month ago. So he finally called me. Like the people that book their battles is underneath Beasley and Smack. So like that's one of the headaches too. Is like you're dealing with guys. You're like, look, yo, let me talk to this. Let me talk to Beasley. Like, you know what I mean? So he called me last month. It was a good conversation. He's really business oriented and stuff. So it was a good conversation. So, but well, might be excited for y'all, man. So the Connects. Obviously, I battle Chef Trez on the Connects. I battle St. Mike. We've done them all. So the Connects are working on a card for May or June, and I'm working with them. And it's hopefully it's going to be me and Nitty, me and Av, or me and Big T. Now, I know Big T's probably like the right now the lesser name or whatever, but I also love the Midwest clash, and plus Big T is a legend. You know what I mean?
I like
Big T can bring it. He gonna bring it. He definitely gonna bring it.
Yeah, so we're reaching out, getting those numbers and stuff. Like my big thing is like at least once a year, always bringing battle rap to Kansas City to give. There's so many fans of battle rap that had no clue Kansas City even had leagues and stuff like that, because they watch. So my thing is like, yo, nah, let's market this. Let's get people that are fans of battle rap all around, Kansas City or whatever to come out. They're able to see, meet Av, Nitty, Trez, Trez, Big T, these kind of guys. So hopefully, we're gonna lock that in. Oops will be on that same card, so he'll be in here from St. Louis. I'm shooting for May or June, so that should be fun. Until then, I got a couple battles booked right now. Nothing really big right now. I'm battling XL. I got him. They haven't really announced it yet, but I'm battling XL coming up here in the next couple months. But I'm just kind of sitting back. Normally, I book a lot of battles because one, it pays well, and like I get to travel and stuff like that, And right now, I'm trying not to book as many so that if URL calls or King of the Dot or RBE, they call and say, yo, Ward, we want you for this date. It's not like, well, I'm already booked. You know what I mean? So RBE did call about battling Rosenberg Raw. They called me a couple weeks ago, which it would be a fun battle. They just didn't have a date yet for their event. So I told them, I was like, well, when you get a date, reach back out to me. I can't just say, yeah, I'm going to battle somebody and then, not know when it's going to be and then, turn around. I'm in a wedding or something like that, So,
Oh, that sounds good, bro. I'm definitely going to stay tuned, stay posted, keep us posted. Anything we can do to help out, anything we can do to help. Hook us up with Dustin Colquitt so we can get him on the show. And
yeah, man, you know what? That's funny. Every time I go to training camp, like I always holler at him, and I'll go up there and say, like, "Yo, Beard in high school," he'd be like, "Are you all gay, man? What's up?" You know what I mean? So it's funny because I was Britton's age, so I was in class with Britton or whatever, but Coco was a senior and we were like freshmen, and so yeah, I'm more close to Britton as far as when we went to high school, but he's such a good dude, man. But the other thing is like what I'm finding out now is like, Willie Gay Jr. hit me like 2 weeks ago on Instagram and was like, yo, you from the town? Like, bro, I'm a huge battle rap fan, Drop Lucas that played defensive back for us last year or whatever, hit me like, bro, what? Like, I love battle rap. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm getting like a lot of these Chiefs dudes or whatever that are like Zach Fulton. Me and Zach Fulton are still cool. We talk all the time or whatever. When he played for the Chiefs was on. Actually, we need to bring him back, man. Get Zach back. Zach Fulton would have filled in perfectly in the Super Bowl. He would have played any position on that offensive line and been fine. But there's a lot of guys like that reach out, and are like fans of battle rap. That's what people don't understand is like we watch sports for entertainment. Well, the guys that are playing sports, they watch all kind of other stuff, Like
that.
Jay Farrow loves battle rap, like, from Saturday Night Live. Like, yo, man, you fire, stuff like that. Like, really? Little old me, But yeah, it's really dope, man. It's really dope.
Yeah. Once again, man, we appreciate you, bro, and best of luck and keep killing them, keep smoking them.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all.
Keep telling them how good God is, yeah.
That's right, man. That's right, man. Y'all be easy, man, for real. Thanks for having me on, man. We'll do it again. Maybe like a NFL draft one or something like that. Have me on. We'll talk about, all of the, once I go, I need to go down here and study a little bit of everybody that's coming on this draft board because I see something. Kyle Pitts, they said Kyle Pitts might run a 4.4 or something like that. I'm like, yo, what? Like there's some dudes out here that is monsters. So we'll have to get back on here and talk some sports or whatever.
Yeah, we might hit you up for a theme song too. We need one.
Yeah. Let me know, man. Let me know.
All right, bro. Appreciate you.
Y'all be easy, man. Take care,
man.
Oh my God.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah. Man, we appreciate A.Ward, man. He's a great guy, man. A hell of a battle rapper. He's very, very dope. If you've never seen him before, go check him out for real. He got a lot of battles and a lot of dope wordplay. He's dope. He's all that. So
definitely the truth, dog. But yo, let's tap into some of these rumors that have been going on, man. Okay, so like the biggest rumor that I've seen. It's allegedly the Chiefs, they are looking to maybe replace Sammy Watkins. I'm not sure, but I've seen that they have some interest in Alshon Jeffrey, AJ Green, and Deshaun Jackson. First of all, Deshaun Jackson, he can't stay on the field. I don't want that. I don't want just 2 80-yard plays a year, then you just done for the season. I don't need that anymore. So, what's your guys' opinion on those 3 guys in general? Maybe come here.
Maybe Jeffrey. I'm on Deshaun Jackson. I mean, you replacing one injured guy for another injured guy. If you think Sammy is just always injured, I mean, well, so is Deshaun. Alshon Jeffrey's kind of banged up too. But if you can get him on a cheap deal, then I mean, he knows the offense. He knows Andy Reid. I'm more interested in the Von Miller rumor.
Yeah. You know, because we've been talking about that in the group chat, whatever. You know what I mean? So yeah, Von Miller, I would get over the past with Von Miller. You know, the trash talk he had with Travis Kelce, whatever, calling him a fake Gronk ass or whatever. I mean, I'll get over that. You know, if he comes here, you know what I mean? Because I already know what he brings to the table. So,
you know who needs to go to the Chiefs, and I'm just sick of it. Chris Harris, come to the Chiefs, bro. Just come to it.
He already signed with the Chargers.
Bro, every interview, he loving us up, bro. He always ass Boogie. For the last 3 years, we've been saying Chris Harris want to come to Kansas City.
Well, how
he
come
want to be a Chief. Come on over.
He just come on, baby. We'll take it.
If he's really propping us up, then how come he hasn't signed here yet? What's up?
Your guess is as good as mine. I don't think we had enough money last year.
Was that?
The money. You said what, bro?
Right. You said the money.
I don't think we had enough money last year. We didn't have enough money to afford him, but he always loving up the Chiefs. Just the other day, he loved up Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill for about 20 minutes on some podcast. But with the new deal going through today, I don't think the salary cap gonna be a problem. I think it should be higher than they thought it was gonna be. And Brett B said as long as it's 180, which they already said it was gonna be, then we good. So next couple of weeks is gonna be some moves made, and we're gonna be right here to break them down and discuss them. So I think March is gonna be very exciting. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, it should be. You know what I mean? And then some more news going around. You had just talked about this in the group chat as well. Disney and NFL, they signed an exclusive deal to have, you know, ABC and ESPN still have Monday Night Football, but ABC and ESPN, they got rights to the Super Bowl now. So Super Bowl is going to be coming on that channel. Who knows what year, but it'll be coming on there at some point. So
that TV money, $2.6 billion.
Yeah, that'll help increase the cap. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
And then we got some more news too, man. Mitchell Schwartz, he underwent back surgery, so hopefully it goes well. Like I said, who knows if he's gonna retire or he's gonna come back. So, what's your guys' opinion about that news?
He sounded optimistic on that post. I mean, he's like, he sounded optimistic, like he wanted to. So he said he was gonna try to play. But then he said he was gonna try to come back.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm optimistic, but I'm 60-40. Like, you just don't bounce back from a bad back at his age. Like, he ain't that old, but Mitch never missed a snap for 9 years. And then all of a sudden you got this big back injury, bro. It's not the most optimistic thing that you want to look for, but I mean, we rooting for him, though. We definitely rooting for him. They're gonna make some decisions. They're gonna have to make some decisions about Matthew, Tyreek, Travis. They definitely gonna restructure Pack's contract to get that room they need. So I mean, that's a foregone conclusion right there. So they got room to make a lot of moves. And I think in the word around town, the rumor I'm hearing is they're gonna be aggressive. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that entails, but that's the rumor around town that they're gonna be aggressive in free agency. So in a couple of weeks, we're gonna see.
Yep, and like you said, you mentioned a few moves already that can get the Chiefs under the cap because right now, I mean, the last time I checked, they currently 23 million over the cap. You know what I mean? And I know a few cap casualties was Eric Fisher and Anthony Hitchens. I can't see Fisher going. I mean, they'll work something out with him, but as far as Hitchens concerned, like, I mean, how do you think the Chiefs find a way to keep him? Because I mean, he was a key part of that defense.
I think they're keeping him.
Hitchens? Yeah, I think you. I don't think it really saves you any money cutting Hitchens. I think basically if you restructure cap, if you restructure Patrick Mahomes' number, that's like 18 million, like right off the top. If you cut Fish, that's 11. You already good right there. That's all you really have to do. I don't know if I want to cut Fish because he's not going to play next year. You know what I'm saying? For the majority of the year.
Yeah.
So do you cut him, give him an injury settlement, and go sign? I think the move would be go sign a veteran left tackle guy while he's hurt, and put him in, and then draft a rookie guy to mold and groom. You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't know. We gonna see them.
Yep. And then one last thing we have here, the Chiefs had a virtual meeting with upcoming rookie tight end Bretman Jordan. He's a rookie from Miami. He's looking to get drafted somewhere in this year's upcoming NFL draft. Now, we've been saying for a minute that the Chiefs definitely need a second tight end. And last year, that second tight end didn't come to fruition. Like, we thought Ricky Seals-Jones was a great signing. We thought he was going to step up and do the deal, and it didn't work out for whatever reason. So, you know, with Travis Kelce being in his 30s now, it's definitely that time to start looking in that direction. I think Bretman Jordan should be somebody that the Chiefs should definitely look at closely and consider drafting. What's your guys' opinion on that news?
Yeah, we definitely need a second tight end. We ain't had a second tight end in years. Kaiser wasn't it. The Belldozer wasn't it. Ricky wasn't it. Man, we ain't had no guys. So.
We had Demetrius Harris too.
Brick hands.
At least he was good with the run blocking though, man. I don't know.
Yeah. He would catch the spectacular throw, but not the easy throw.
Yeah, the give
every time.
Throws, yeah.
I don't know if can we get a tight end that with with the holes we got, man.
Okay.
Well, we'll be back. I don't know what happened there, but
I think if we can get if you're decent, if you can be decent in both, like above average blocker and a good catcher, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it'll work. I think it's some guys that's available. The best thing about this is everything that we have needs in is deep in the draft. So we got a couple guys that we have in mind that we're gonna bring in for the draft. Those should be some great conversations.
Yeah, and the few games I've seen from Bretman Jordan at Miami, he definitely has the potential to be great. I mean, I don't know about necessarily being one of the top tight ends in the league one day, but he'll definitely be a great second option in this offense. Take a little pressure off Travis Kelce. You know what I mean? I mean, Travis will still get his, but you definitely need that second tight end to take some of that coverage off him, you know? So.
Yeah, and then it's space it out, man. Space the offense out. So, you know, Pat need those in case of emergency guys that he can hit up. You know, and it'd be good to add another name to that list. So,
yeah,
definitely. I really think that this free agency period is going to be a lot more interesting than people think.
Yep.
Because last year they thought we didn't have no money. We didn't have no money, but
yeah.
This year we're gonna actually have some money to really play around with. Man, I think it's gonna be something to watch, man. I think it's gonna be nice, and maybe we can get Tucker back on to talk about it, or Josh, one of those guys, to really break it down and have a conversation with us.
Yep.
So
And of course, when draft time come around, we're gonna have Arrowhead Tom, our draft analyst on here. So that's gonna be fun.
yeah,
But,
definitely. Shout out to Tom.
Yep. Shout out to Arrowhead Tom, man. Now,
I don't know. I thought Boogie would be back, but
I guess his battery died. I don't know, man. Okay.
hey, man, we appreciate y'all listening and following and engaging. We do got a mailbag show coming soon. That looks to be fun. I'm waiting for that. Boogie's back.
Yeah, that's your battery died, fam.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up, fam. Before we wrap up, though, let's get to the main NFL news, man. Okay, so let me ask y'all about Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson. Are these guys actually gonna get traded? Can y'all realistically see either one of these guys getting traded during this offseason?
Hell yeah.
Deshaun Watson has to get traded.
That's
you don't have no trouble.
That's done deal, man. I'd be surprised he played with the Texans again. I'd be shocked.
But here's my thing, though. He just signed the contract, though. He just signed the contract. I've been said, Deshaun, don't sign that contract. You know how this organization is, dog.
But I think he signed it in good faith, though. I think he signed it like, hey, man, we're going to let you have some pieces. We're going to let you have some input. Yeah. I think he signed it in hopes they would change, and then they didn't change. So now he like, all right, I'm gone. I wonder how far he'll take it, though. You think he'll take it to sitting out games?
He one of the few that can do it. Like, everybody can't do that, man. Watson can do it.
Send him to Carolina, man.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens, man. I just can't see it, man. But who knows, man? But what about Russell Wilson, man?
It sound bad, too. That would sound bad, too. He walking out of meetings, and he's not happy. He's a franchise guy. You got to keep your franchise guy happy, man. You can't just let him be frustrated and keep getting hits. He was at that Super Bowl. He seen what Pat went through and said, man, that looked like me down there. He said, man, I need some.
Yep.
Seattle leaking that, man. You think Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll can be back cool after this? The damage might be too far done, man.
I don't know.
Damage might be done, man.
I don't think it's a Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll situation. I think it's more a Russell Wilson front office situation because he's been saying for the longest, because we've been saying for the longest, Seattle's offensive line hadn't really been that good the past few years. And all Russell Wilson said was, I need some protection, man. I just need the offensive line to improve. And then Seattle had an issue with it. I'm like, hold on, man. Y'all can't come out and be saying that about Russell Wilson when y'all tried to trade a dude a couple years ago for Baker Mayfield. That's my thing. Now you have an issue with Russell Wilson speaking out, saying that he feels like he needs some protection back there in the pocket.
But then his agent leaking the teams too. I don't know.
It's bad. It's bad.
Now that was bad. I don't know about his agent leaking all the information out like that. You know what I mean? So,
hey man, look. A lot of people be mad at Brett Veach. You can feel how you want to feel. But, man, he got it done with Pat. He stayed real with Pat. He keep Pat involved. And our quarterback is happy. And we got the best quarterback in the league. And it can go bad fast, bro, when you lie to your franchise guy. All the guys on the team, he's the most important guy in the building. Like, why would you want to piss him off?
Yep, exactly. And as far as Brett Veach goes, I think for our next episode, we should evaluate Brett Veach and his time here in Kansas City so far. Because I seen Kent Swanson, he tweeted out, grading one of Brett Veach's draft classes or whatever, and he had him like a C or a C minus, you know what I mean? And I think it was Sully. I think Sully called him Brett Reach or whatever. Because he played Brett Veach reaching for picks. I said, dang. So let's look. I think we should dive a little deep next episode into Brett Veach and just decide on whether he's done a really, really excellent job. You know what I mean? Just for fun. You know what I mean?
All right. I'm down. I'm down for it. All right, we'll work on that. We'll definitely work on that. We might even get Kent for that.
Yeah. Well, all right, John. Go ahead and close the show out, man.
Oh, Kingdom Cast, man. We love y'all. Thanks for the support. Keep rocking with us. We're gonna keep going hard and giving content. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on social media. For my guys, peace. We out.
Kingdom Kast, we out of here.
Peace.
What's up?